Everybody, welcome back here to the College Court for the final time tonight. SIU Esports going head-to-head with Concordia, Wisconsin. We have potentially, hopefully, a banger matchup on the card. I just want some kind of battle, to be honest with you, Andy, because so far today we've had 2 3-0s in a row. It's been brutal, mate.
Yeah, and those 2 3-0s have not really been all too close. I mean, the Search and Destroy, our second series of ODU and SCAD was somewhat competitive. The first set of hard points in between the Goats and the Black Knights were somewhat competitive, but it always felt like that one team found that 5th and then the 6th and sometimes even the 7th gear with that extra player, and they just continued to push all the way through. But Southern Illinois University, an interesting one to say the least. If you're new to College COD, or even if you watched at the end of last year, this is not SIUE, the team that we did have at playoffs. This is Southern Illinois University, the Salukis. Specifically, it's a beautiful yet aggressive mascot right above Brody's head, going up against Concordia, Wisconsin. The Falcons looking to continue on with their endeavors throughout the entirety of this lower bracket.
All right, you're going to have to educate me here. What did you say? What's a salute?
It's a Saluki.
What is that?
Saluki?
So I'm not. This is not judgmental, Brody. Here, this is me not being educated enough to know what that is.
But it's a dog breed.
Ah.
Type of dog.
I only know Cocker Spaniels because my dog is a Cocker Spaniel and she's adorable.
It's like a medium, tall, high. It's like the same size as like a standard poodle. It's like lanky. It's gorgeous. Beautiful dog. Google it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's lovely. If this was a beauty contest, SIU would absolutely win then, wouldn't they? As well, it's not a beauty contest. That's the sadness for them. It's a Call of Duty match, and these guys going head to head with the Falcons, as you say, in Concordia, Wisconsin. Interesting to see kind of how these guys match up. But I already said today, as we said, it's been 3-0s throughout the day so far. We're getting further into the bracket run. These guys, this is not the qualification matchup. We should clarify that right now. We still have one more match after this. We won't be covering that, but there still will be one more match to go. So the lower bracket run is a daunting task for these guys. What battlegrounds will we be playing for that lower bracket run for these guys? Let's find out here as we get into the best of 5 map set. Hoping for something varied. This is a surprise to us, and well, yeah, it's a hotel and embassy sandwich once again, with Fortress just there as kind of the topping, sprinkled extra cheese on the sandwich at the end.
It's a lasagna map set coming through, Brody. The Fortress is the Parmesan cheese on top if we end up getting the distance there. You like that? How you feel about it?
I feel really good, actually. That's the first time I've heard that, and now you're making me really want lasagna.
You are the British Garfield, aren't you? Hotel, Embassy, Hotel is going to be the guaranteed first 3 maps, so you can see the vetoes at the top. SIU not wanting anything to do with Mercado Hardpoint Search and Destroy. They got rid of the Fortress control. Falcons, on the other hand, didn't want to scramble on the Fortress Hardpoint and don't want the slow war of attrition on the El Asilo Search and Destroy. So we'll have to see how all the vetoes kind of pander to these 2 teams and the strengths that also come along with it. AR should be feeling quite at home when it comes down to these first 4 maps.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've already seen Hotel once today, albeit not on hardpoint, or twice, I should say, albeit not on hardpoint. So this is where you're going to kind of see that variety coming into effect. And Hotel hardpoints, I think, just pretty fun, just generally speaking, to see kind of the way the rotations work. This is a map where the rotations are pretty well split up, so you have to make sure to emphasize on the rotations when it comes to this map. So we'll see how this goes at the end of the day. Hotel hardpoint, again, this is kind of considered one of the best map mode combinations we have here in Modern Warfare 2. It should be a fun one. Just to give a clarification for you guys, apparently this is a qualification match.
Reclarification.
Yeah, reclarification. Is that the word we're looking for here? It is a qualification match. Is the point, right? We were looking at the bracket incorrectly. So this is actually a qualification match. The winner of this one will be going through. So excuse my silliness because I was.
Oh, wait, what's it, only 12:30 in the morning over there, Brody? I'm gonna need you to lock it in, get it together, bro, because this one is honestly it could be slated to be a banger. I mean, you have 2 teams effectively that have been winning out as far as the lower bracket is concerned. Southern Illinois University, they did end up losing to Butler University in what was that, in the winner's side, and then they just got done being Cardinal COD 3-1. On the other side, for Concordia, they lost to Ball State 3-0 in the winner's bracket. And then they just got done beating Midway University 3-0 as well, like you were saying. Ever since Concordia have been down here, they've been winning 3-0s continuously. So I think we're going to be slated for a good one here. These are 2 returning colleges that we did have from the Vanguard season. Did not make it very deep as far as playoffs are concerned. This Concordia, Wisconsin team, or college rather, I should say, always make arguments for fielding some pretty stellar rosters, hoping for another good one here.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, we talk about it kind of pretty much countlessly at this point. It's just a case of kind of proving your talent, right? And this is kind of what we're looking for from these rosters, is trying to prove that you kind of deserve to be in Division 2 at the end of the day. You deserve to kind of hang with the best of the rest, as it were. That's basically what Division 2 is when it comes to CCL. And, you know, this is what we're looking for from these two teams. We'll see. It's kind of proving yourselves in the limelight. We've had a couple of players today that we've had a look at. You know, Colo in the first match of the day. Who would you say is your player that you like from, like, match number 2? Would you say, like, the guy to look out for?
I mean, it has to be Static, right? I mean, Static had the most breakout performance of the entirety of that 8-player lobby. So it's just one of those things that you can clearly see here at the collegiate level, that if you have one player that's going completely AWOL, you can obviously influence a whole lot more throughout the entirety of the map comparatively to other levels of competition. It just comes down to that second player for me. You know, we were talking about Richie when we go back to West Point. We were also talking about Love for ODU as well. That secondary supporting member needs to be right there hand in hand to be able to make these plays a little bit more influential.
Yeah, absolutely. It is that case, right? And this is kind of when we talk about grassroots esports, just generally speaking, this is not a bad thing by any means. But I think you can rely a lot more on those individual heroic plays. It's something that I've always noted, you know, going back to, again, the last time I casted CCL, Andy, was in 2020, during the 2020 season. You know, I was casting that and kind of other grassroots esports tournaments in Call of Duty at the time. And the one thing you'd always note comparatively to kind of the upper echelons of Call of Duty esports, comparatively to kind of this level with grassroots esports, is you would see individual heroic plays winning maps and series, and that has been the case so far today, where these individual players are coming out just going absolutely ham in matches. Even maybe more than one player going huge can really make the difference. So we'll see who that'll be here for SIU Esports or SIU Esports, if for any Ronaldo fans out there. I had to make the joke somewhere in there, even though it's like SIU and not SUI. I had to get it in there somewhere. And Concordia wins to Wisconsin. We'll see which teams, which players will be the ones that we're taking a look at the end of the series. But I believe map number 1 is basically ready to get underway. It's Hotel. We're returning back for yet another night. Goodness gracious. This is the least expensive hotel you've ever been to. You basically get here for free, as we're going to be on board with Concordia, Wisconsin to start things off.
I don't know about that. I looked up rates as far as this hotel is concerned, trying to plan out a trip, and it is pretty expensive. Cruzy, though, answered back for a 2-piece after you had 2 to start there for the Salukis. It's important to know, I mean, the Falcons for Concordia, it did start off on the favorite side, but the opening breakoff did not work out favorably for them. It's player number 6 of Mezzi that's actually in the more annoying spot. That's actually going to force all of Concordia to spawn further south than what I'm sure they wanted.
Yeah, of course, the objective here for teams at the beginning of this hard point is to make sure you are on that right side of the minimap. Make sure you do control the spawns for P2. A couple of important battles already going down over there. There was an attempt from Shampoo to wash away the sins of SIU Esports and get control of these spawns, but it hasn't exactly worked out. SIU still in control for the moment. Buzz gonna enact the dead silence to try and make a very aggressive play towards Naps, and it will work out, especially as the supporting engagements will also be through on the other side for SIU. So the first engagements and the first set of control will be going their way, but things not over just yet. The close spawns will be in.
Oh, and Mezzi's still continuously pushing through dead silence. He knows he's got another player outside of lobby. Repositioned up top. Damage is good. Shampoo, though, gonna be able to get that kill. Still, 30 seconds has already been secured, more or less, for the Salukis on the backside of P2. They are not going to get interrupted as far as spawns are concerned anytime soon, though. Naps answers back with 2 of their own. That'll start forcing the Salukis out. You need to turn this into hardpoint time, though.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Giving away the back 20 seconds is just not good for Concordia, Wisconsin. However, SIU Esports, they've got a backstop. They could potentially get this rotation, a big 1 versus 3 for Cruzy, and just gets overwhelmed towards the back line. So SIU Esports now, despite not getting the vast majority of time they really wanted off the back of P2, they now have an opportunity to do that over here on the money hill that will be the kitchen. Now, how do Concordia, Wisconsin handle this one? How do they want to try and make the move around the backline? They've got to get past Guido to do at least something, and the first kill will be going Guido's way. How much more can Guido do here to damage this offensive effort? Will finally fall now to Katie Ray and Naps with another one as well, and now SIU starting to feel the heat inside the kitchen. Concordia, Wisconsin playing this one from both sides, and Katie Ray going to double up. The team shot's good here for Concordia, Wisconsin, getting towards the hard point.
This is big time. 30 seconds still left to fight for. You can see that the Salukis are spawning essentially over by Jules. You have 2 players that are pushed up already. That's going to be George. He's going to have Mezzi's help here. They get cut down immediately. Just not coordinated. It's not going to be good enough to be able to break on in. So we'll have a very slight lead swap. Buzz is playing for exits, of which he will find 2 in his affair over inside of the lobby area. Chalk it, rotate over towards D2, D1. P4 is where we're going to next.
SIU Esports will be the first ones to touch it. on this new hardpoint. Buzz is really the player with the most advantageous position for this entire play. It's whether or not Concordia, Wisconsin will actually check that is the question for me. Mezzi with a massive 1v1 that arguably Nap should have won, even with the heady that Mezzi did have control of. The problem now for SIU is, will they recognize the fact that the spawns have flipped? Will they recognize the fact that Concordia, Wisconsin will be here in the backline? I don't think it matters for a player like Guido, who's now starting to streak out. It's 5 in a row. That's a 3-piece for Guido that is just so damaging from Concordia, Wisconsin. And Guido picks up number 6 as well. Number 7 in his line of sight. Nap swings wide and Guido sapped him down. The cruise missile will be accrued now. The back 25. Now still to be fought over here for SIU Esports, but that is a massive amount of time going their way.
Yeah, no, I mean, all off the back of the heroics. Be able to get a cruise missile is one thing. To be able to hold on to all of this time is yet another lead swap coming through for the Salukis. Building it closer towards 40 now. Over towards the restaurant we go, and Mezzi's already back here. He's already getting some help from the other side. Guido off screen, he finds 2. And now Mezzi can just kind of sit here, kick up the AR into his hand. He has a 1v1 versus Cruzy, of which he'll 1. Reinforcements are here. Salukis break early. They turn scrap to initial.
Yeah, that is huge. Again, this hasn't happened so far in this game where a team is able to successfully do exactly that, but they still need to control it. Caterator is going to pick up 2. Buzz now in for the trade, and the Pillstrike kill feed will be in effect, but the trade's ultimately in favor of Shampoo, who will be now accruing some time for Concordia, Wisconsin. It would have been super detrimental to them if they would have lost control of the majority of this hardpoint time, but still, fight's going down. Cruzy and Naps now for 3 inside the kill feed, and Buzz will now be the last one left alive. Able to pick up 1, finds a route in towards Maps, or in towards Rugs, excuse me, and now looking for the kill versus Naps, will actually find it, and this is still a massive back 20 to fight for if you're Concordia, Wisconsin. They're going to have to give it up and focus on the rotation.
Yeah, they sure will. I mean, chalk and rotate as you may like. You got to essentially turn this into a full 60. This is the hard point to maybe try to do it, but again, you have players that are rotating early. It's Mezzi, double positive as you may like. He's out here on an island quite literally. He's going to have 1 player down below. It's going to be Cruzy, who stuns Semtex up through the window in the glass area, has the head glitch back staircase, works out well for them, and you also have some assistance coming through P4, but Buzz is in that annoying position. He's playing on the backside of these planters box. He's going to start cutting down players when they start waltzing in front of his eyes.
And mind you as well, there's still a cruise missile in the back pocket ready to go for Guido, right? If Buzz can get another one on the board for SIU Esports, it would put them within touch and distance, but Codcaster Curse comes through, and, well, Buzz will fall 1 kill shy away from that cruise missile. It will have to be Bush inside now at 4 and 14. Needs to have a good go at things, and to be fair, has a fair amount of support in and around the hard point. So this back 20 should well be good, Andy, and in terms of kind of the overall characteristics of this game so far, SIU now putting some serious distance between themselves and Concordia.
Yeah, that's that turning point, right? You go back, we'll talk about it later on, that be able to convert P4 into P5 the way we just saw it from the Salukis, and then also threaten and get the majority off of P6. Not exactly an easy feat, and it's not like they're being outslayed sufficiently, except when you take a look at Mezzi, 19-9, 17-9 for Buzz. The kills are coming through from Concordia, but it's not the kills that are benefiting them to get better positioning, to generate hardpoint time. That's what the Salukis are doing continuously. They are slaying out in all the right ways.
Yeah, SIU now in a really good spot, but of course we talk about Concordia and Wisconsin being on the better side of the map for rotation towards P2. They need to make sure they hold it. Push. What can he do here in the middle of the map? Shots being put out towards double arches. Many of them going to connect, but it's actually Guido on the Overwatch that's actually doing a lot of the damage. Also in the kill feed will be Mezzi picking up another one. And now the route has opened up here for SIU. This is a very bad situation. You thought that Concordia, Wisconsin might have hit rock bottom. Well, here is a whole new rock bottom to be in. They are down by over 100 points, and they do not have control of P2.
No, they don't, and you just need 29 seconds if you are the Salukis to close it out. So leader's advantage in a nutshell. You can just chalk it, rotate, get initial time here. If you get broken up, whatever, you can go towards new because you know you have such an emphatic lead over the Falcons from Concordia. They're trying to threaten around towards the back, trying to get those spawns in their favor. But you still got to get these players off of pillars. Naps, Cruzy able to find 2, but then it comes down to Bush. Finally, the trade is in. Now what can Mezzi do from behind?
I mean, SIU, you can still go at this, right? With 20 seconds left, there's still a good opportunity. And Buzz picking up 2, that might well be it. Buzz picks up 3 in the kill feed. Caterator, the only one able to do anything. And now SIU might be able to finish it out here on P2. Concordia, Wisconsin, they've done everything they can at this hard point, and the coverage is good for SIU. Naps flies through, but he can't do anything as Bush closes this one out. Concordia, Wisconsin just fall out of that game just a few hard points in.
Yeah, just a few hard points in, indeed, my friend. And it mostly just, again, it comes down to a very good back and forth that we had on P1. Very characteristic is that P1 on Hotel where you get 15 seconds, you want to maintain spawns for P2, but the way that the Salukis just come flying on in and just completely eviscerate the setup that Concordia had for themselves, it didn't stop there at P2. They then continued on with said antics over towards P3 in Kitchen. And then they did the same thing over by P4, where they turned scrap into initial, and I'm like, okay, well, you're able to convert P3, P4, not exactly an easy feat. And then they do it again for P5 and P6, and we're like, all right, well, I guess that's the winning moment right there. It's a continuation of one winning moment, and that'll be quite indicative when we go through these replays.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head there, Andy. You talk about kind of the crucial moments of, I think the P4 to P5 rotation was probably the most damaging, if anything. I think in that game, or the P5 to P6, excuse me, moving from Restaurant to that P6 hard point was just, it really did feel like it was out of touching distance at that point. But even at that point in the game, there's a moment where Concordia, Wisconsin, you can hold P1, the majority control at that time. You can make sure you hold the rotations for P2 as well. And there is a window back into the game, even if you're already by that point down by 100 points or so. You can kind of build the lead back. But as soon as they lose control of P2, which is, again, just a moment ago here, just for this one, it does feel like at that point it is almost over. It is an inevitability. At that point, SIU Esports just much too dominant, just overwhelm their opposition in that game. And I tell you what, that triple threat of Mezzi, Buzz, and Guido, mate, that is just insane. Like, but we won't talk about Bush. I'm not saying that full name at all. Yeah, we're not talking about him at all here in this game. Like Mezzi, Buzz, and Guido, they just did everything. They're like, it's just insane. To be fair, Bush is just sitting in the hill, but still.
Yeah, he's vibing. 2 minutes and 30 seconds with the OBJ time. That just really goes to show you. I mean, 8 and 17, whatever. But if you got 2 minutes and 30 seconds of hardpoint time, those are things you definitely love to see. Someone should take note when I get into my mosh pit and then rank games later on through this month. But even more so than that, Brody, I even noted it at the end of P6. Like, the slang wasn't too far gone. It wasn't too far out there, but it's those constant 2 pieces, the 3 pieces, the 7 spree from Guido. Everything was just popping off at the right time around the objective. The majority of the kills that the Falcons were finding were outside of the objective, and they were never in a position to really capitalize off of those kills because numbers and reinforcements were always a bountiful for the Salukis, as it felt like that they always had those close spawns.
Yeah, just Indomino there in map number 1. It feels like that has been the theme of the day, right, Andy? Every single map we've seen today, like, none of them have been close. This has just been an insane day of collegiate COD here, and again, see SIU Esports kicking things off pretty strongly here in this series with the 250 to 117 scoreline on Hotel Hardpoint. We'll return to Hotel in just a moment. We've got an embassy to get to first on Search and Destroy. Look, we said it in the last series. I know it didn't ring true. There is an opportunity here for Concordia, Wisconsin to just hit the mental reset button, go, look, right, we're into the Search and Destroy now. Maybe they're a Search and Destroy team. Who knows? I'm just looking for some positives here. I'm pretty positive. Look, I know, Andy, you know me as a glass half empty kind of guy most of the time.
True.
Sometimes, though, I'm in a very positive mood, and that's where I'm at right now.
I mean, you have to be. If you're a fan, if you're a friend, family member, or faculty member, student, it may not matter. If you're sitting here and you're watching College COD with us for Concordia, you're really hoping that they might be a 2-3-5 team. Because, I mean, the way that we just saw them get completely ripped asunder for those hard points and rotations, getting turned scrap into initial time and time again, these are things that you just have to be able to recollect at a different point in time. The only thing you can do is focus on the future, and the future is now at this Embassy Search and Destroy. Sniper rifles, ARs, all of them need to be on point, not to mention those really annoying trophy systems, especially when you're thinking about those B executes. If you don't have a trophy system and the enemy team has those throwables on point from their spawn point going all the way over towards the side admin building, I mean, you're going to get completely blown up like it's a Michael Bay film, and you're not going to be able to get over towards that BS&D.
Yeah, like, should we have like a scale of like a Michael Bay scale? Like we could like rank like the Transformers movies, like from like
Transformers 2 is definitely at the top.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Revenge of the Fall. Revenge of the Fall, right? Yeah, that's like definitely like the most Michael Bay that they ever got. And then there's like kind
explosions.
Yeah, like Dark of the Moon, I think was the third one. I don't know. Regardless, that's like down there on the scale. We don't like that one. Regardless, yeah, you're absolutely right. That there is going to be a lot of explosions, a lot of Sentexes, a lot of nades to be talking about kind of on the start of this Search and Destroy. And you've got to remember as well, we always kind of discuss this. The first round, there will not be any trophy system. So like when we get into that first round, you're expecting a lot of those nades to to connect, maybe something a little bit more passive from the offensive side. But it's interesting as well because we always talk about kind of the transition of strategies from challengers from CDL into to CCL, into grassroots esports. And one of the strategies we've seen teams kind of use, especially when we look over towards like Rocker Academy on Embassy Search and Destroy, is you have see players trying to flank in a way, trying to cross that middle of the map, which is basically no man's land, and getting towards the enemy side, whether it be at the administration building or laundry, or if you're on the offense. Getting an SMG player in behind enemy lines is just so valuable on this map. And I'm kind of curious as to whether we see that kind of play, that aggressive play coming out here of CCL teams.
Yeah, I mean, where SMGs can really reign supreme is finding that timing off of the spawn point, immediately pulling out the pocket knife, going through kitchen, getting in towards that 1-for-1 spot where you're cut off over by the mid box that is attached to the admin building. We've seen so many times even at the highest epsilon of play, one SMG can get in that position. A couple players like Simp and Abizi from Atlanta FaZe kind of ring true towards this. They get in those positions, they deal with the sniper over by the planters box on side admin, and then they get that admin building in the control of the defense. I mean, from there on out, it's either sink or swim when it comes out of an offensive team to either deal with that player, get the trade, if not try to even convert that offensive round. Because if you lose control of your admin building altogether, Brody, I mean, that round just might be chalk.
That's the other thing, actually. We haven't seen this today, really. There's been no snipers. I've just realized.
We got a sniper on the Fortress Search and Destroy map in our first series.
Well, true.
We got a sniper rifle coming through on the Hotel Search and Destroy, but it's definitely this map mode combination of Embassy is where it can be most potent. There's a lot of opportunities for long range gunfights.
That's where I was about to go. I was just like, yeah, the snipers on this map are just so useful. Like, especially when we talk about kind of the crossover towards A, to making sure that somebody, if you're on the offense especially, like, there's a lot of oppression that comes with that sniper presence over on A, making sure that somebody isn't in kind of that top, what's the call out here I'm looking for? Like top electrical area. I don't know. There's a call out there. Yeah, that's the one. I forgot the word for AC, but we don't have that here in the UK. So that might be why, but yeah, we don't have that. Yeah, the sniper presence I think is just so important for offensive efforts over towards that side of the map, and then of course on the defensive side you've got to have one to kind of watching that, and obviously in the middle of the map as well. So there's a lot of ways you can see snipers being utilized. We haven't seen that much good usage, I will say, out of them so far today. Maybe this is where things change as we move over towards Embassy Search and Destroy. A lot of different ways you can play Embassy. It might not seem like it at first, but again, we've talked about it. We talked about kind of the evolution of strategies over the course of the Modern Warfare 2 season so far, and there has been quite a few, especially here on Embassy. But I've been loving it, mate. CCL action's been wonderful today. Can't wait to get into this one.
I mean, the collegiate Call of Duty always is entertaining for sometimes the right ways, sometimes the wrong ways. But what we do know for certain coming through for Concordia, you do not want to go down 0-2. It has not worked well for either of our other two series. On offense, though, Salukis able to go 1-for-1, though. Bomb is still moving its way closer and closer for that B-bomb plant.
Yeah, and we talked about it, right? Getting a player all the way up the map is the way to play if you're on the offensive side. Unfortunately for them, they haven't dealt with a player that's inside administration, and that's going to be Bush, who maybe didn't have the best go of things on the hard point. Didn't really need to be fair. Absolutely the player of the round there in the first round of play.
Yeah, no, fantastic stuff, because again, we talked about it, and it comes through. You don't have trophy systems, you don't have dead silence, but still, Bush is able to put himself in a position to get admin building control, gets 3 within the round. That's the influential play that we only got to see maybe once, maybe even twice on that opening hotel hardpoint, but it comes through wonderfully for the Salukis this time around, cutting down reinforcements, making sure that they cannot get that B-bomb plant. Again, that admin building is everything for a B-bomb execute.
All right, well, great start from SIU here. See how they get on their offensive effort. Those trophy systems, the dead silence will now be in play here for the second round, and Bush has already crossed the middle of the map. The information should be good for Cruzy. The call will be made that somebody has crossed over towards the tennis courts, and there isn't actually anybody watching top AC from SIU. So in this position, Bush is actually pretty out in the open. He's pretty exposed.
Does have some longer assistance. It's player number 8 of Guido, and that's where the shots are coming from onto Caterator, but George has the bomb. So you have to almost kind of plan that he's going to have to play for the plant, and the assistance needs to come through. Cruzy pushes up. That's going to be first blood as he finds him for free.
Yeah. Good start from SIU. They're starting to entrench themselves inside the defensive line. Concordia, Wisconsin will have to deal with them sooner rather than later. Dead silence about to be earned here for Buzz, and I'm curious to see what they do with it. Moment, though. Going all mission impossible. Like on the other side, Bush will finally activate on towards Caterot, and things go from bad to worse here from Concordia, Wisconsin. There you go, Buzz off the back of that dead silence will reset on towards Shampoo. And Naps now finds themselves in a 1 versus 4 situation. Has managed to transition close towards the site, but there are just so many different areas you got to check. The dead silence activated, but not able to get the reset, not able to get a single frag. As a flawless offensive effort comes through from SIU.
Yeah, at that point, if you even have any information, whether it was sound cues or whatever, you cleared so much if you are the Salukis, especially from the assistants on side admin. The push that was immediately shoved over by the parking lot towards Xbox is where that first blood was found. And it's by proxy that you probably know this guy is either lurking inside of the kitchen on the tables or he's probably just inside of the electrical staircase. Tries to bounce out, gets that first kill. He finds that kill. He gives himself a pretty good shot, but does not come to fruition. 2 rounds in, the Salukis take them both. Concordia are trying to hit B very fast.
Yeah, again, that's the aim of the game. Just try and cross the middle of the map as fast as you can to stop anybody from the middle of the map taking you down. One player has actually traversed the middle of the map, though, from the defensive flight. That is Mezzi, who, while the bomb has go down, might well be able to just pull this play apart for SIU, and he does exactly that in that kill against Shampoo. Another one on the flank as well will be Bush. You know, looking for the kill on towards Electrical, and well, Bush is actually going to take out Mezzi. Elsewhere, it's Bush, or Buzz, excuse me, for 2. And now Caterator, a 1 versus 2. The bomb is down in a pretty good position for him to cover. Caterator, that 1 versus 1 is huge now because the bomb defusal not yet coming through. But the sniper play from Buzz knows exactly which window Caterator is going to check from. The pre-aim is good for Buzz as he picks up 3 in the round.
It's like you said, the bomb was planted for that top administration window peak. You just got to be able to get that bomb planter off, shave away the clock, but when you got a sniper rifle in Buzz's hands, he's just got to lay prone on the bomb, wait for the peak. Bam! Gonna be able to shut him down and get the defuse coming through in a crucial 1v1. Would love to see it come through for Concordia. Getting that bomb planted for 1 was everything. Trades, not necessarily all there. But that was their best win condition that we've seen in these 3 rounds worth of play. But Buzz shows up in a big way.
Yeah, Buzz, massive part of that round. So far, Buzz, Mezzi, and Bush, the trio to watch here for SIU Esports. Concordia, Wisconsin. At some point, you got to dig your heels in. At the moment, donuts and breadsticks. I mean, they might well be good for the Super Bowl, but they're not good here. And, well, Naps now finally going to get a breadstick of his own with the first blood, but the trade will be good for Bush. Caterated down for the count. A 3 versus 3 now on Buzz. He has a kill right in front of him. He has some good timing. Switches over towards pistol for the 1 versus 1. Naps will actually win that one, and Naps now in a really good position to kind of ruin SIU's day.
He took care of the sniper. Now Naps needs to turn this into something a little bit different. Bush is going to get cut down by Shampoo, who was playing on the actual AC unit. So now the bomb's dropped on that top bridge. Guido, that silence half dissipated. Has attack in hand, looking to clear away all the space and just bulldozes through the door. Doesn't make all the sound in the world, but if you look at Naps and Shampoo's positioning, you really don't have to move.
Yeah, Guido actually has these players pushed apart, to be fair. But no dead silence to work with. Yeah, Shampoo knows exactly where they are, so as soon as Guido goes for the move here, he should be taken down, and he will be. Concordia, Wisconsin, finally on the board. And again, it's that early presence inside administration building. Kind of just turns SIU upside down. They don't really know how to handle it.
Yeah, it's exactly that, right? It's the dead silence push that comes from Naps. He gets administration building control and taking down Buzz as well. I mean, Buzz, it's kind of like a 50-50 guess. Like, am I going to get chowed over by the front desk, or am I going to get chowed from the hallways? You wouldn't really know because Naps, again, had dead silence popped and made the influential play, making the Salukis extremely uncomfortable. And as they were trying to transition over towards A, again, it's Shampoo that was on the back AC the entire time. Bush gets cut down trying to run across the bridge. So now for Concordia, nades are out, trying to get themselves some information. The bomb carrier is not the one that's pushed up. Keep that in mind. Mezzi has just found a route.
It's this again. Mezzi about to ruin their day. But no, Nap's actually going to come out with the timing. So Mezzi not going to be able to enact himself there in that situation. Guido taken down as well by Cruzy. And Buzz now gets the quick scope on towards 1, pre-aiming the top side, recognizing that Cruzy's probably going to push him. The pistol, though, not the best weapon for this situation. Now he's just relying on the 1 versus 4. Sniper really not the best weapon for that situation, as I said. Concordia, Wisconsin, starting to warm up here in this game. They deal with a player in the middle of the map, and it all falls apart here for SIU.
Yeah, it was just a really good rollout. when you're looking at the grander scheme of things. For an offensive team, you get some nades. They don't really connect on anything to damage, whether or not it was found information soon after. You get that one player of Cruzy, he pushes up towards tennis courts, but that's when here in Search and Destroy, you start hearing teams at the highest level, or even in Search and Destroy tournaments itself, you start asking yourself, just like, well, he could push up here because it wasn't looked at. And taking down Mezzi as he was pushed up towards front admin was everything for Naps to be able to get that first blood. And Concordia continue on with his 2-round escapade. Cross being launched by Caterator. He'll convey that information towards his teammates, but nobody's top AC to stop this push from going down.
And once again, SIU, they position themselves inside the administration building. Bush sat in the corner of the tennis courts. First blood will go their way here, so the retake not exactly going peachy for Concordia, Wisconsin. Massive 1-versus-1 for Cruzy against Buzz, and will find it. So that's a good first look here for Concordia, Wisconsin at the retake, but you haven't got anybody inside the administration building. That'll become a problem sooner rather than later. Cruzy, though, just doesn't care. Managed to pick up Mezzi on the cross through the middle of the map, and Guido has taken shots. Guido needs to check this bomb right about now, or at least Bush does in the position. Nobody looking at it, and Naps is going to get away with bloody murder.
That's highway robbery at its finest. Hey, man.
What?
All I know, I've seen some Falcons fly, man. They got large talons. They come in, they swoop it up. They fly on out of there. And Guido, I mean, to be fair, he was in that previous engagement, so the moment that he comes to check the bomb, it's just too late, and the pre-aim was already being held. But there's just simply no reason whatsoever why the player that's over on the tennis court stairs, which was Bush, like, that you need to check that bomb. Either that or somebody from your team needs to convey that information. Like, you need to at least get a bomb check because you're down in numbers, and Guido was in a gunfight top admin, so if it wasn't going to be one, it had to have been the other. 3 rounds on the bounce here for the Falcons.
Yeah, that's an error. We'll talk about that at the end of the game. It might be something that comes back to haunt them, and it might get even worse here as Shampoo draws the first blood in this round. Concordia almost have free reign here, and Buzz is about to get taken down by Naps. Yep, they're relying on the flank plate. Guido in position, but he has to have trigger discipline. Not going to do so. First kill versus Naps will be through. There should be a trade. There should be. Guido is still alive and might actually be able to get the 1-versus-1 against Cruzy. Unless these guys jump at the same time, Guido might be in a really good position to get another kill, and he will be. How has Guido gotten away with that? I thought that they might be trying to enact a pinch play with Champion around the backline, but no. And now Bush finds himself in a 1-versus-1.
Just needs to stay down. You should know off of Guido's kill for the bomb carrier on that BS&D. That bomb is, in fact, patty-caked on that B bomb. But Bush is, I mean, he's tweaking out a little bit here, man. He's checking everything. He's repositioning. Shampoo's up top. The biggest consideration now for Concordia on this offense is that Shampoo has to go. He has dead silence. He's waiting to see if Bush peeks back up. He's just laying on his belly on the opposite side. Shampoo popping dead silence. Semtex towards the staircase. Throws his shoulder. Sees that Bush is over there. Bush just runs the heck out of there. The bomb's not being planted. Shampoo should get it, though. He chows around the back, and that's a clutch if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, that's so well played as well, especially in that situation, right? You're in the 1-versus-1. You've got enough time for the plan, right? You could well go for that. Shampoo's like, no, absolutely not. I'm just going to go challenge Bush around the back line. And you don't know that Bush hasn't repositioned. That's a really dangerous challenge. It works out in the end as Shampoo comes out on top. Now 4 rounds on the bounce hit from Concordia, Wisconsin. And what a bounce back it has been. SIU Esports now facing down a potential cruise missile on the other side. And they need to do something right now to stop the bleeding. They've just got to start watching their backs. Stop doing silly things. Going to go straight towards B this time around. And it's a very heavy B hit as he pushed all the way through. Bush looking for the kill in towards Electrical, but he is now being tagged up by the Semtex elsewhere. Buzz has picked up one, and Mezzi's flank will work out. Shampoo's going to bring the streak down. It's good for a 1, and Bush not confident, therefore, to get the bomb down just yet.
2v3 still. After the investment, nice iron to be held there by Shampoo. Again, the bomb dropped. Top bridge, and this is another round offensively for the Salukis that... Why is Bush up here by himself? Not in a tradable position. That's your bomb carrier for crying out loud. Now you have to rely on some solo heroics because these 2 players are split up. Buzz will get good timing on at least the first. You have no idea what the next one's going to be located at. Caterator popped that silence himself. And he might have just gotten some of the best timing in the world. Yeah, there's the first. Never mind.
How has he not gotten that kill? Caterator, get this kill. Caterator, get this kill. Thank goodness. Okay. Got away with it. But it doesn't matter. Buzz is there to finish. And yeah, Buzz just makes the play. Gets the first over towards cafeteria in the second as well. I gotta say it though, again, I feel like a lot of the situations that SIU are in at this point in time, it's just like you're putting yourselves in these situations. Like Bush solo challing with the bomb, you just shouldn't be doing that at that point in time. Regardless though, we're here now at 4-4, Andy.
At least you stop the round escapade that was Concordia. Again, winning 4 rounds in a row after losing the initial 3 is no easy feat, but Concordia were able to do just that. You need to collect yourself if you are the Salukis. They're isolating themselves way too easily and making these predicaments even harder for themselves. Quick beep hit coming through yet again for the Falcons. Aids are bountiful, but Guido again pushes up mid-map. It's always mid-map for the Salukis. First blood.
Yeah, well played. Now Concordia, Wisconsin here. Feel pressured. Mezzi, though, does get taken down. But actually, a posthumous nade there from Mezzi does take down Cruzy. 2 for 2 as Naps doesn't just get 1, but a second as well. And now, Bush and Guido versus Naps and Shampoo, the latter of which do have the bomb in hand, and they've got basically a free plant over towards A. SIU, they're not going to expect this.
Doors being bounced open. That silence is about to dissipate, but Naps will get this bomb planted. And you take a look at where his teammate is in Shampoo. He's pushed all the way up towards the white fans. Where does Naps go? Just sit here and play the trailer, play up top as you may like. He's got a Vaznev for this potential gunfight that's going to be coming through the top bridge area. Guido last alive, has to throw his shoulder, and Naps was ready for it.
Yeah.
Great post-plant situation, great information coming through for Concordia, Wisconsin to be able to understand that we can rotate over towards A, get that bomb planted because all the parking lot was covered.
Yeah, I think it's just a really good adaptation coming out of them, right? They know that they don't really have any control over B whatsoever. They're basically gambling that the opposition don't have any control over towards A. So they're like, right, let's just shuffle this bomb over towards A. We'll be all right. And they absolutely were. Great decision-making for Concordia, Wisconsin there. 1 round away from tying up the series. Our first real battle here today. SIU Esports on the receiving end of it. Now, back towards B they go. A fan favorite, it would seem, or at least a team favorite for these guys. Guido trying to provide Overwatch on the bomb as Bush looks to get this one down. The coverage isn't exactly great just yet. It's not the strongest. And here you're about to see why. Guido cross-mapped from Gatorade, excuse me. 3 versus 4, the bomb will go down.
All the ladders being looked at. Optic, take notes. Bush gets cut down. Mezzi buzz. In a 2v odd situation. Now, your saving grace of the bomb has been planted, but you still have 1 player that's pushed up. Mezzi, he's in the doorway. Buzz is able to find the kill. Naps is trying to clear away admin. Now the clutch spot is completely open wide. Mezzi, though, pops dead silence. What's the timing going to look like?
Where do they plant the bomb for as well? Mezzi can stop the bomb planter, but he has to make sure he does so first. First skill will be through. Play your life if you can, though. Is there going to be a player on the bomb in time? Yes, there will be. Shampoo picks it up with time to spare. And Concordia, Wisconsin have given us our first real series of the day on the final one of the night. They refuse to die. It didn't look good from the outset. SIU started very strong with the first 3 rounds in their favor, but Concordia, Wisconsin, they came out with a fire. Some really great responses from them.
It were the responses, but overall just teamwork that's coming through from Concordia. On the opposite side, it was like a lack of teamwork. It was like all of the notes and all like the pre-preparation that was coming through from the Salukis ahead of this embassy search and destroy were just ripped out of the notebook and just thrown out the window. Because in those first 3 rounds, it was great. You know, you had Bush pushing up towards the bomb site. You had some help, whether it was Buzz with the sniper or an AR up top of the admin building, looking at that push that was coming through. But then it felt like that they were just constantly isolating themselves. And it's not like that they were being force isolated. They were quite literally just isolating themselves, and it just felt like it was all just crumbling at the bits. There was even 1 round that you had Bush with the bomb down for Concordia's offense. That Bush just should have been able to run away scot-free. And he doesn't able to find that timing. He gets chowed out by Shampoo back admin. And that was that big round of the turning point for me of why Concordia was able to rush to victory.
I gotta say it as well, and this isn't me being like, I try not to be overly critical, because at the end of the day, sometimes I think the players are obviously going to be in better positions than I will, but like, there were just so many moments there from SIU Esports where I'm just like, unforced errors is the best way I can describe it. The diffuse, the failed post-plant positioning from SIU Esports, where they had 2 players. I think it was in round number, I think it might have been this round. Actually, yeah, it was this very round here where you've got like Bush sitting in the corner. Like,
the bomb's not even planted for him either. Like,
well, you can still like make the call though. You can like peek up and be like, okay,
you can shoot some angles, yeah, but it's just like with Guido being in a gunfight top admin, That just was everything. And you even saw that one round right there as well. Just completely unfortunate affairs if coming through for SIU. They simply could not clutch out that round in 1v1, clock on their side and all. I mean, it's just a lot of questions for sure. But again, you know, these are collegiate athletes. I'm sure that they're not grinding search and destroy every single night comparatively to the individuals that you and I normally commentate over, Brody. But nonetheless, we got ourselves a series.
Yeah, absolutely you do, and that's the bottom line for me. I'm just happy that we finally got some resistance here today after 2 consecutive 3 rows. But here's a look at the stat lines at the end of the series. Ignore the damage stats because that's absolutely not accurate. It would be just crazy if Bush was able to get 6 kills with 31 damage overall. It would
5 kills with 0 for Guido?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, actually. You just basically looked at them and they died. That's the best way to describe the kills that Guido managed to get there. But on the other side of things, Shampoo, you know, really great positions from them at 10 and 4. Naps as well, 8 and 7 for them. Really just a great effort overall for Concordia, Wisconsin.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, it wasn't just one individual. Yes, obviously, Shampoo had a fantastic showcasing, but it was just the teamwork, the cohesion, and understanding that they could put themselves in a winning position just off of what they've already been cleared. That is what showcases a really good search and destroy team. And hey, if you're a good search and destroy team, that's something you can absolutely lean on because it'll win you matches. It'll win you championships. Yeah,
looking pretty good. If we do go to a game number 5 in this series, here's hoping, guys, because, again, it would be brilliant to have a really close one in the final match, the qualifier match at that of the day. SIU Esports and Concordia, Wisconsin now 1-1 in the series. We return to hotel control for the next one in this one. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're back with that after this break. Hey everybody, welcome back here to College COD for, I would say potentially the final time. It could potentially be, to be fair, as, well, I mean, this could well be done within 4, but it's okay because we actually have our first series of the day. SIU Esports versus Concordia, Wisconsin has just got interesting as the latter of the 2 teams has managed to win the second map of the lot. I mean, the first map, Andy, I'll be honest, I was a little bit concerned. I thought we might get yet another 3-0 on our hands, but Concordia, the Falcons, just proved me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, hey, again, we hopped out of map number 1, going into map number 2, and I was like, maybe the Falcons are just a really good search and destroy team. That seems to be the case, or maybe the Salukis just fumbled the ball too many times through so many of those rounds. Much more to digest, and we'll break it down, I'm sure, later if we do end up going towards that map number 5. But Hotel Control is on the docket for us next. We took a little bit of a break. We got our visas there at the embassy, and now we're going back to a stay in a night. How many rounds, we'll find out.
Yep, Hotel Control, back to it once again. And we talk about kind of hotel dominance. We saw that again from SIU Esports in the first map of this best of 5. Hopefully they can do the same thing out there again for all the SIU fans as we get into towards this map mode combination. It will be SIU starting things off on the offense. And they've gone for more plain offensive effort towards A. Only takes 1 frag this time to get control of the point.
Yeah, and they completely clear all of Atrium as well, so they know that they can get the stack. And this is about to be 2 segments of progression before the Falcons even get over here. I mean, Buzz is pushed up so far up in towards Jules. He's going to be able to get a couple players caught off guard. He conveys the first that goes through double arches, but Caterator, though, he's here. Bush, he's in a battle for his life. Caterator brought a pistol for a secondary, and that A-zone may get converted, but kills are soon to follow.
That was a really dangerous position, Andy, right? Because, you know, we talk about kind of going in a little bit late for Concordia. They're very lucky that Caterator was able to get those 3 kills. SIU might well have been able to transition from A to B pretty quickly, but no, Caterator comes in and saves the day. Now Concordia, Wisconsin in a pretty good spot here with a lot of map control to speak of. Shampoo in a bit of an advantageous position here, not really normal position at that as well. And off the back of it, it's not able to just get 1, but 2 as well. Caterator towards the middle of the map now. Might be able to surprise a couple of players as they make their way from luggage. Perhaps being the first player that these guys greet on the point. And there you go. You can see it. Caterator activates towards the middle of the map. Trophy system should catch that nade from Naps. And, well, the pinstripe field feed now in effect. It is going to be a 2-2 trade. Again, still presence, though, for Concordia, Wisconsin. And they are good to just keep on batting away SIU.
Yeah, they just keep batting away at these lives. 23 plays up against 19. It's a win condition within its own self. You may not be able to close it out on kills, but you can keep shaving down that clock. It only takes really 1 good hit for an offensive team to be able to get over towards this B zone and try to convert it in their favor. But no opportunity has presented itself so far. Try as you like to get through lobby. You have 1 player of Caterator playing the head glitch here on the L desk. Good luck, have fun, Bush. That is not a gunfight I want to be going up against, not anytime soon. Down in 50 seconds, 14 lives remaining for SIU.
And Concordia, Wisconsin again with map control. Cater big 1v1 here. Buzz wants to get in towards the back line. He probably knows that somebody's inside the help desk, and yeah, just run straight into him. Cruiser, you around the back line, able to take down Bush, and there you go, Guido. If he could enact a flank, it would have been nice, but now SIU's hopes and dreams on this B push rely effectively all on what Mezzi is able to achieve here as he slowly approaches, all stealth-like, towards this restaurant. He's able, or for the bar, excuse me, able to take down one. And that's a pretty good look for SIU here, to be fair. Especially as Buzz picks up a massive double. SIU now have a chance on the point.
It's just player number 8. It's Cruzy, but he's already damaged. They know exactly where he's located at. He's on kill number 5 in a row. So if you can do a double-edged effect here, if you can get a streak, plus stop the B-zone conversion, it would be massive. Shampoo now is the next player to try to step up. He will at least get help desk back from Buzz. But you still have players that have presence on the B-zone. Here, toes are sticking out. Yeah. Gatorator's going to gobble him up. 10 into now, 7 seconds remaining. Might be able to touch the zone, but I don't know if you can convert it.
Yeah, I was going to say SIU in a pretty good spot there. They had bedroom control. They're still going to give this one last attempt, one last college try, quite literally here, as Naps picks up 2 to finish things off. And Concordia, Wisconsin, going to be able to finish things off there. Again, looked a little shaky, I think, in that initial approach from A to B. I thought they might be in danger, but they recover, and it never really felt like SIU had an in past that point.
No, I mean, over towards the A zone, they got 60 seconds off of their first push, Brody, but soon after, it's hotel defense within its own self, right? You just cycle players out in and around from bedroom. You make sure that you get the help desk back in your favor, make sure that nobody's flanking behind Spa, and then you're just dwindling down the numbers soon after. 1-7 start from the round from Guido. Stark differences of what we saw from the hotel hardpoint. Need a bounce back here.
Alrighty, well, Concordia, Wisconsin. This time, they're going straight towards B. It's a pretty good look from them, especially as the first couple of butts will come through from Cater and Cruzy, respectively. They can stack this point now, and they'll be pretty good for the back of that. SIU Esports, they are positioning themselves for a retake through the middle and through bedroom side. They might be a little late on that, as the second couple question will come through. The trade is good, though, for Buzz. Trade still going down. Is it enough to clear the point entirely? No, as Cater now on 5 in a row. 1 kill away from the cruise missile. It's a 1v1 against Buzz in the middle that will decide it. It will settle it. The point will go Concordia, Wisconsin's way. And that, I mean, what a point it was. B already gone.
And you're just building the life deficit more and more. Caterator is 7 times positive. He is 14-2 for crying out loud. What even is happening to SIU? They have no answer. Their usual suspects not popping off in the way that we saw from this map 1, or maybe it's just the Falcons. Maybe they're late bloomers for a best-of-5 series, but still trades are going to be coming through. We've seen it so many different times at so many different levels of Call of Duty. You can hold on to the Z zone and deny a single segment.
Yeah, Concordia, Wisconsin, they just have so many win conditions. You know, getting in towards A, it only really takes one good hit. That one seems to be coming around the back line here. Are you prepared to deal with the pressure? Yeah, absolutely you are. Bush and Guido just melt. And only one player now left up to do something about this will actually be Buzz. He picks up 2, so it makes it a little bit at least palatable here. But Concordia, Wisconsin have 2 players on the point. You'll get the close spawns since there's nobody from SIU to deny. Mezzi tries to make his way through rugs, but now it's a one-dimensional attack. His players have to make their way through the doorways. Buzz, the last player left alive, he's tagged up. There isn't a stack, at least, from Concordia to deal with. So Buzz offered up an opportunity to do something about this, as are the rest of his teammates. That stack, or the lack thereof, will allow players to filter through, but it's okay because the 1v1s, they are won by Concordia, Wisconsin. What a flip of the script. This control has been all Concordia, Wisconsin for this entirety of this so far.
Go back towards that defuse, man, on Embassy Search and Destroy, where they had a win condition for SIU. They have not looked the same ever since. And Concordia have found that second wind. They are just battling SIU into submission. 2 rounds in a row on Hotel Control, where there were win conditions set galore. There's no answer in sight. I mean, Buzz is 13-10, sure, but a combined 9-26 between Mezzi and Guido. These guys popped off in the map number 1, which they decimated Concordia on. Need a bounce back here. I mean, if you can't have it here, you're just going to have to go into map 4 and just maybe thinking about a map 5 potentially.
Yeah, this is not looking good for SIU, to be honest. Some kind of momentum would be nice. You got to start doing it here, though. Got to deal with players getting in from behind. And if, well, Cater is not doing it, it's Cruzy at 13-7 as well. Kills being made by Shampoo and Naps around that area, and off the back of that, I think SIU going to have to default over towards A, and they just don't have a choice. I mean, they're just going straight into the line of sight of Caterate, who's there, more than happy to take them out of the freezer. Looking for more now, and he almost gets the drop shot on towards Buzz. So at least the window of opportunity has opened for SIU over towards A. And B as well, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a double-edged attack. But Naps is still up top in bedroom. That's kill number 6 in a row. Cruise missile has been earned. Naps goes up to a stellar 12-9. You're pushing them all the way back over towards spawn. Now, if you're Concordia, this is a very hard thing to read, but it's just one player for SIU that is tacking over that second segment now over by the A zone. So you can stabilize, you can clear, and you can set yourself up for this B zone defense. It's just 2 ticks are all that are required for SIU to stay alive in the control.
Yeah, this A capture should come through, and I like this. SIU already putting quite a lot of stock in towards the transition from A to B, but Naps, he is absolutely ready for it. Takes them both down before they can do any real damage, and Bush now the last one left alive around the back line. Naps should get the look on towards him, and even better, that angle is just disgusting, as Bush just doesn't expect that ever in a million years. So SIU sent back towards the respawn point, back towards square one. No bedroom control. That has to be the priority for them, and Cruzy just trying to play the route man, trying to catch some players from SIU off guard, and wow, that's tough. That's tough. Sometimes the game just doesn't like you, and Cruzy just gets got. That is so tough, man.
I can't tell you how many times I've done that. I've seen our producers Sport go through the motions of that jump up so many times. Oh, man. All right, let's bring it back. Bring it back a little bit. Tough. 7 life deficit. Clearing away bottom bed here. Shampoo is the next defender, more or less, to try to deal with these players, and he'll drop down, and he'll find 2. Well, all right. Just when it's starting to look like it was all grim, Concordia stay alive.
They've still got the life advantage as well. That's something that we have to keep in the back of our minds. 50 seconds left. That might be something that we consider here moving forward. A couple of kills, though, for SIU. Bush still has a fair bit to do here. The first kill would be nice, and that should open the door for SIU to come through for the stack. The trophy system now going to be down, but nobody watching the backs, and Shampoo, the emulsifier, is looking pretty good for this one. Looking for the 4K against Bush, and runs out of ammo to get it done, but it's okay, because Caterate is there to pick up the slack. Concordia, Wisconsin. Well, once again, stellar job at defending the point. They were just a sliver away from losing it, and a 6 versus 12. To be fair, SIU, they still have an opportunity here to win out this game. All it takes is one good push. Guido, though, that's just not going to help the team frag on towards Buzz. At least Bush is going to pick up that 1 versus Cruzy. There is presence here for SIU. The streak comes down from the heavens with 24 seconds left now. Guido is going to fall, and yeah, 1 versus 10. Good luck with this one, Buzz.
Can't even find the first, and this Concordia, Wisconsin roster is coming to play in the past 2 maps, a 3-0 in the control. They already surprised us by forcing out a map 4 just because we went back-to-back 3-0s, Brody. But they are just flying and literally frying. Caterator didn't even reach double-digit deaths. 27 in freaking 8. Are you kidding me? Where was this map 1, Concordia? What happened? Was it the body shooting? Is that what pissed you off, Concordia? Is that how we ended up in this exact situation? Because if that's the case, just ask the team next time to shoot your body, because this is a different type of level that we're seeing from Concordia comparatively to that map 1.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what to say, dude. That was just a map. Like, Concordia, Wisconsin just absolutely slapped him up. I think it's just so apparent from even like the first round, right? This very first offensive effort from SIU is like, all right, things going pretty well. And then Caterate comes through and clears the point. Obviously, after the point has already been captured, but nonetheless, I think that just kind of encapsulates how that game went entirely for SIU Esports. Despite getting pretty close, having some good attempts at the points, Concordia, Wisconsin, ultimately it is they who have the final say. Ultimately, it is they who deny. And we talk about kind of Caterate, like Shampoo had an incredible game there as well. So many great moments. Nats, Cruzy, everybody was just doing it. And it's just such an incredible flip of the script compared to map number 1, where it's just like, SIU had 3 players just dominating the conversation. Now none of them seem to be able to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing everything right. That's basically all I can say. They are, throughout the entirety of this game, of hotel control, Concordia simply could do no wrong. Where they're always making sure that they got players cycling out these power positions, even after they lost A, and it seemed like it was rather grim. That Shampoo felt like he was like the only defender. I can't believe we caught that on a replay. Cade, you're different for that one. But anyway, it's just one of those things that they were cycling players out in the right places, and they were finding the best timings. And the difference in between the Hotel Hardpoint and the Hotel Control here, Brody, is the one fact that they were just finding the slays. That was the biggest difference in between the Hotel Hardpoint and the Control, more or less, is that Concordia just slayed the hell out. 27-8. Those non-traded kills cannot be right. I just refuse to believe that. But a combined 32 and 24 for Shampoo and Naps. Cruzy at 18 and 14. And again, the usual suspects, what we got from Hotel Hardpoint, out from the Salukis of SIU, just were not there. I mean, Buzz breaks even, sure. Bush, say what you will, 11 and 18. That's a very similar scoreline that we got. There's just no Hardpoint time to soak up and control. Go figure. But Mezzi double negative. Guido almost triple negative. This is not the same look that we got from the Salukis in the map 3 that we did in the map 1.
It is just like something flipped. Like a switch has flipped somewhere along the line in this series where Concordia, Wisconsin have just like woken up. It's crazy the way this has gone so far. Let's take a look at the map set to show you guys kind of what's happening. If you're just joining us here on the CCL, map number 1, SIU Esports, they just dominated. And it did really feel like at the start of that one, this would be an SIU series. And even into the Search and Destroy, even early on in the Search and Destroy, when they went 3-0 up, Andy, I thought, like, yeah, SIU are winning this series the way that they're playing at the moment. But again, something just flipped for the Falcons, where they just came out, started playing very well on the back half of the Search and Destroy. And then that Hotel Control, just different gravy altogether. Now 2-1 up in the series. We'll return to Embassy, this time for a hard point. And maybe this is where there is a win condition for SIU Esports, because we saw the way they played that hard point, turning scrap into initial pretty consistently. Maybe they can do that.
Yeah, this is a map mode combination that you could probably get away with it. Again, the rotations as far as these hard points are concerned are 100% dependent on locking down not only the mid lane, but either the north or south lane. Concordia, though, continuing on with their antics. What a start.
A great start here from Concordia, Wisconsin. Of course, they don't technically have full map control over the rotation towards P2 just yet, as the spawns now come on through. SIU Esports still technically in control of that. But again, Concordia, you still don't want to give up much control over P1. You don't want to give up a wealth of time over this hard point. And that's why SIU have to be careful of for the moment. Shampoo's going to jump on in now for the back 20 seconds or so. Might well find a challenge sooner rather than later through Electrical. But while all that's been going on, you can see it on the minimap happening. Concordia, Wisconsin did probably the worst case scenario for SIU Esports. They managed to get control of the P2 rotation.
It needs to be talked about. This P2 is kind of an extension of P1. It should stay rather scrappy. It's very hard to be able to generate a lot of time off of this specific hard point. But the setup for SIU, it is here. They have their flank fully secured. They dealt with the player over in the admin stairs. Now you know it's all going to be coming from the front.
Yeah, as I said, to be fair, those spawns did come in from SIU. So now, as you say, they want to hold this for 40 seconds remaining inside, but player spawning out now across the other side of the map will be Mezzi. Maybe SIU can keep these guys at base, so that Mezzi can come and activate through the middle of the map. Bush cannot deal with the pressure from the front line. Now all falling apart as Mezzi is the last remaining hope, and Mezzi does actually pick up 2 here. So that last save for SIU should be good for the back 20. Maybe Concordia give this one last look, but they've been better served moving towards the rotation. Cruzy knows that too. Deals with the first one, has to look over towards the ladder, and does deal with the second. And do not let that optic skin fool you. The ladder is being watched this time, Andy.
We're gonna give Exile. Just he's going to rip his hair out. Poor Dan. Oh man, 39 points up against 33 is the score line ahead of this rotation for P3. You can see player 8, Cruzy, he's in there already. And again, this is what I was talking about. That mid lane is going to be your main focus. And there needs to be the next south lane that needs to be dealt with. It's Naps that comes up from the kitchen staircase. He will snap and come alive. That's the one kill you really do need to be able to solidify the first 20.
First 20 going your way here. Concordia still there having a fight on their hands as Mezzi comes through, wins that gunfight out of absolutely bloody nowhere. And Trade's still here. Naps now facing fire from the administration building. Guido up the ladder. He goes and takes down Naps. So back 25 here should go SIU's way. You can see the spawns now coming through from Concordia, Wisconsin, as they are going to spawn up over by P2 and now battling through administration building. Battles that, for the most part, have actually gone Concordia's way. One more kill coming through from Buzz up top will secure the spawns for SIU. So Naps here has quite a job on its hands. Players coming from both sides, and of course the first in the form of Bush. This is dogged from both of these two teams. It's very, very scrappy in terms of getting control of the rotation, but in the end, Bush will be the last player left alive, and he does fall.
It's about a dead even game. A lot of time still left to be battled over here on P4. Close spawns were there in effect for quite some time for Concordia, but it's just the gun skill coming through for SIU that is here to stay, trying to force a map number 5. Buzz on a 4 spree. If you can get a streak, this would be massive for the upcoming rotation.
Absolutely would. Buzz gets that kill versus Naps, and now on 5 in a row, as you say. Yeah, really a window into this game. A window out for Concordia, and just jumps into the map and says, hey, I'm up here ready to be fried by Shampoo, and that is exactly what happens. So Cruise Missile will be denied there. Now, focus on the rotation. Kaderator was the star player and gets eviscerated by Mezzy on the rotation. Mezzy still over here, having something to say for the rotation, but in the end, Shampoo will take him down. The first wave of gunfights go in favor of Concordia. They're down by about 50 points here going into new.
And this is where things can either be brought back or the lead can be completely taken into a full effect. But the setup is actually really good. P5 is where SMGs come to play, so you're going to be expecting a lot of close range gunfights. Cruzy trades one for Buzz, but it's the side door that comes into effect. But can you get the players out from the hardpoint itself? So far, I would argue absolutely not, but the split spawns are fully in effect. SIU actually spawning closer.
Yeah, SIU still consistently knocking at the door here on this hardpoint. Naps, though, eating up as is Shampoo inside. They're doing a really good job at covering the hard point here at every single angle. SIU now starting to be forced out too. This is a white kill feed for the most part. I think there's only been one kill for SIU in the back, like 15 or so between these two teams. But in the end, all of that will result in Shampoo now on 5 in a row, 1 kill away from a cruise missile, trying to do what SIU could not and earn that all-important streak for later on here in this game. But I think the bottom line is for me as we go into the second set, Andy, these teams basically dead even.
Yep, just about that even indeed here, Brody. Just about 8 points is the differential, and that's just all at the back end of that P5, specifically for Concordia, where we were sitting there talking about it like you're down by about 50 points. You need to answer back with about 50. They get about a full 60, and that's exactly what you need if you are a fan of Concordia, to try to close it out here on map 4 and not try to go over towards a map 5. But we'll see how it all plays out. No, don't really put too much stock into who's going to be holding on to those closer spawns, although Concordia is spawning over by the parking lot. And SIU are just kind of looking around, like, where are these players located at? And because Concordia hesitated for so long, it allowed SIU to actually get presence inside of admin building and completely disrupt the setup for Concordia, at least for the moment.
Yeah, SIU are in control at the moment of that PT rotation, as you say, Andy. Whether or not they can hold it, that's the question for me. You can see Concordia, they're positioning themselves. They've got players like Shampoo on the trucks, providing overwatch towards that backline, and the team shots, you can see it on the minimap, are going to be good for the moment. But now Bush coming out to help his team. Gets in that plant pot positioning, but doesn't quite expect Cruzy. A little bit of miscommunication there as Cruzy surprises. Cruzy going to surprise yet another one as well. Guido trades for one, but not for the second. And Concordia, Wisconsin, from the back foot, arguably, they didn't have much map control. Now in control of this hard point. Still a 1v1, though, as Naps finds his 5th in a row.
Oh, man, that's a 4 dead in favor of Concordia. Now you can start generating an abundance of time off of P2. SIU are going to be spawning all the way over by the tennis court. So, again, this hit is mostly coming through the front. Kaderator inside of the bathroom has some great help there. Be able to take down 2 players in succession. And this lead is starting to grow for the Falcons. And look at the proactivity. They're trying to push out towards tennis courts. It doesn't work out for them. But SIU, they need to soak up this back 20 and then succeedingly win the rotation over towards new.
Yeah, this is such a close hard point between these two teams at the moment. SIU Esports would be a massive break if they can get it done. Got to deal with Shampoo, though, towards that back corner. And Shampoo, he did actually get seen, to be fair, by Buzz, but wasn't able to enact on the gunfight. So Shampoo going to win out on that one. And still a lot of coverage over the tennis courts now for Concordia. But over towards this backline, that's where the threat is coming. Guido able to get one and no more than that. SIU, they're sending players individually towards the hard point. Concordia dealing with them before they can get close. Now Bush towards administration, trying to find a cover, probably not with the best weapon for the situation. The Vaznev is good, but arguably attack will be better for this one. And now, of course, Bush going to have to get up close and personal. Naps and Cruzy combined for 3. Concordia doing a stellar job at the moment of keeping SIU out of the hard point.
Yep, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to be able to break, and then you want to be able to keep them at an arm's reach by any means necessary. Cruzy, though, might be able to find some timing. That'll take down Guido. That means the scrap time will be secured, and Cruzy able to snap for 5 in a row. One more kill will get himself the cruise missile, and it's right upstairs, and the body shots are being returned. 28 and 15 now for Cruzy, and they are just going to be able to turn this rotation from P3 into P4, looking for scrap into initial.
This does definitely feel like a turning point in the game now. Concordia, Wisconsin, looking to take the advantage of the P3 to P4 rotation. Streaks on board for at least 2 players on the squad, as Cruzy still technically hasn't died off his kill streak. Note that, number 8 in a row. Number 9 about to be served up to him, but Buzz refuses to fall. Still, though, the numbers overwhelm. Concordia, Wisconsin, in control of what could be the final hard point in this game. Bush, can he do anything? Players approaching on all sides. Bush looking for the players and actually going to catch Naps off guard. Has to turn around for the goal towards Shampoo. His teammate, Mezzi, couldn't do anything. But again, Bush just has so many places to watch. Caterator able to pick off 2. And Concordia, Wisconsin now just 30 seconds shy of victory.
They can close it out here still. So you have to hit this one more time if you are SIU. You can see player number 4, Mezzi, does have some help here from Buzz, so they're going to look for the contest. They're going to be able to get it. So now the rotation over towards New is absolutely required, and you already have players trying to threaten it. SIU were successful in trying to get the scrap time, but now they're reeling. Look at the spawns. They push for scrap time, and now they're spawning in over by P4. Concordia set up for New.
19 seconds. It's all that Concordia, Wisconsin require, and here comes one of those streaks down from the heavens. Kills being made, this mid-map coverage just too much, and Bush in that situation knows that he has no choice but to just try and take on the cruise missile head-on. Now players have filtered on through. They've managed to break on through just now. Cruzy though, Cruzy looking for 2 from behind. He finds it. The third will be good for Caterator, and now 7 seconds remaining. SIU relying on Mezzi to win at least one gunfight here. He can't get it done, and you don't even need to use all the streaks in the end. Concordia, Wisconsin, a turning of the tides in this series will give them the victory.
Absolutely absurd scenes. You lose map 1, 250 to 117, and then something just awakens from Concordia where they are just completely outplaying, outwitting all of SIU, and just completely eviscerate them in the control. Those antics continue on all the way into the Embassy hardpoint, where you had the Salukis of SIU turning scrap into initial continuously, fighting straight gunfights, dictating the pace in the mid lane adjustments. Concordia, Wisconsin do it here on Embassy, and again, it's no easy feat. The same thing that we talked about with Hotel Hardpoint. It is not easy to be able to turn scrap into initial, much less be able to win the battle on 2 different fronts. But through these replays, you'll be able to see quite wonderfully how well Concordia did. It always felt like that when they lost 2 players off the respawns, they bounced back with a 4 down, and it generated so much hardpoint time throughout the second set.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty close game for this first set, right? You were kind of said that, Andy, but like, towards that second set, man, Concordia, they just really started going off. And again, it's almost very similar to what we saw in the first map, but flipped, where it is just streaks that come out from Concordia, Wisconsin. It was Cruzy, Naps, Caterator. I mean, all of them really had just moments where they were just going absolutely off and individually dominating hard points that SIU just didn't really feel like they had much of a saying whatsoever. Just a complete flip of the switch once more for Concordia, Wisconsin. They just looked so good, and so many crucial moments, so many crucial rotations. I think the best way I could characterize it, if we compare like the P3 to P4 rotation for a second here from the first set to the second, it's very contest heavy in the first. In the second, doesn't feel like it whatsoever. Concordia, Wisconsin, just dominate P3, dominate P4.
Yeah, I'd say it's legitimately that. There's not much more I can say. The only extra analysis is that all of the kills in the world, their side of the Mississippi, was found. Concordia, it just showed up in a massive way. This streak right here from Cruzy was the final punchline. You really do feel like through that P4 rotation, going on an 8th spree, able to get himself that streak. Shampoo even calling in his streak immediately after earning it, cutting down reinforcements. It was go time. It was desperation for the Salukis. And they just did not have the gunny in this map number 4 at all. Crazy stuff indeed, as Concordia, again, they lost that first map. That's a crazy scoreline to bounce back from. To win the Search and Destroy by 2, they progressively got better, because then they completely shut out the Salukis 3-0 in the control, and they do that in the second set of hardpoints. Unbelievable.
I just feel like it's so weird, right, to see this kind of... It is just a very weird flip in the middle of the series where the first Hardpoint is just SIU coming out and absolutely having their way. Just don't care. There was nothing. There was no response whatsoever from Concordia, Wisconsin. Even the first few rounds of that Search and Destroy were SIU just coming out, playing extremely well, and it felt like it was just going to be a rollover. And then just since then, it has been all Falcons the entirety of this series. The back half of the Embassy Search and Destroy, Hotel Control, and then, of course, that Embassy Hardpoint. Look, SIU, they didn't get completely wrangled, but it might as well have been. Let's be honest. Concordia, Wisconsin, congratulations to them. They will qualify for Division 2 alongside the 8 teams that we mentioned earlier on from this region in the CCL. But SIU, commiserations to them. They'll have to play via open divisions, Andy.
Yeah, their season isn't done, right? I mean, if this team does stick together, which I hope that they do, they showed a lot of good bright spots, specifically in those rounds of Search and Destroy and the Hardpoint. Obviously need to clean things up along the way, but through open division, there's still always a path here in the CCL to make your way through into playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going to give you guys a quick shout out to the teams that have already qualified today, I believe. BW Esports from Northeast region, Keanu Huskies, or Keanu College. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Andy. You can kind of check me if I'm wrong. From the Western region, from the Midwest, UMF Esports from the University of Michigan Flint, Redbird Cod from Illinois State University. From the Southeast, Colonel Esports, I presume that is. Colonel, what am I doing, mate? And from Nichols State University. And then, of course, finally, Concordia, Wisconsin from the Concordia University in Wisconsin. So congratulations to those teams that have qualified so far from today for Division 2. And, of course, all the teams that already qualified yesterday and in the past for Division 1 as well. But before we close out today's broadcast, I just want to give a final shout out towards our sponsors for today. Of course, Fandom and America's Navy. Just a quick shout out to the Goats and Glory Esports team, which provides a platform for people to engage with sailors and learn more about the opportunities the Navy provides, while sharing a mutual passion for gaming. Ultimately, the team shows the sailors are just like everybody else. They have hobbies, interests, and families. Being in the Navy doesn't preclude those things. So check those guys out. Again, shout out to America's Navy and Fandom for sponsoring the CCL, But, mate, what a day of action it has been. We had a couple of 3-0s to kick things off. We had a good final series. I'll say that much. I mean, the first couple of series, they were great, but still, like, we had a battle in that final series.
The divisions have been settled. Some games obviously still left to be played out, but our broadcast may be over. But the CCL season is back, and it is looking spicier than ever. 4 different regions, 2 different divisions. Only one can be the CCL 2023 champion, man. I am so excited for the season to be underway.
Yeah, the season is just getting underway here, guys. Regular season, I believe, starts tomorrow. So, oh my goodness gracious, it's all getting underway. A reminder, $40,000 on the line for the CCL 2023 season. The beginning is just under 1 day away. Cannot wait for that. So again, join us tomorrow for more CCL action. We'll see you guys then. But for myself, Infinity, and probably here on the desk from the Division 2 qualifiers, thank you to everybody for tuning into today's broadcast. Shout out to our sponsors and the wonderful production team behind us once again. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more CCL.